In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the downfall of the Amazing Digital Circus, meme culture, and animation in general. Also, it took me like 8 hours to make this video, so please subscribe, like, and leave a comment that are all buzzwords. Disclaimer before the video starts, my mic and PC are very cheap. Sorry for the weird thumbnail, and I'm not trying to slander Digital Circus. I actually love the show, and also sorry for the voice. I apologize too much. Sorry again. The first thing I want to talk about is the entirety of Digital Circus, the Amazing Digital Circus to be specific, by Glitch Productions and Gooseworks. Gooseworks is an artist and I think also a music composer. She made the songs for Billy Bust Up the Game. Digital Circus, we got Pomni, Jack Kane with Zubul. Zubul's really angry. Gangle. I don't like Gangle. Kinger's crazy, I think. Jax. Nobody likes Jax. And if they do, they have problems. See, if someone likes Jax, you know, it's time to cut ties, man. They're gonna have problems. Now, you probably know this if you're watching this video, that Digital Circus was were bought by Netflix, and Gooseworks has decided to end the show at 9 episodes. I think it's going to end in 2025 next year, and which is kind of sad because people were like, oh, this is going to get multiple seasons, so this is going to be so good, because episode 1, released 11 months or almost a year ago, has 350 million views as of right now, which is a lot for a pilot episode, actually the most viewed pilot on YouTube. Now, when streaming services buy the rights to products, it's a coin flip. Yeah, you don't know if it's gonna work or if it's not gonna work, because sometimes, how much time is Netflix going to put Digital Circus on their platform? When are they gonna remove it? Because eventually they will remove it. Like Adventure Time is removed from HBO Max. Sorry, Max now. It has been removed from HBO Max for some reason, because they didn't have space. They needed more space for Velma episodes, apparently. And like, that's exactly my point. Like Scooby-Doo, the rights bought by HBO Max, and then they made the shitty Mindy killing version of Scooby-Doo. The production behind the Amazing Digital Circus, Glitch Productions, formerly known as Glitch Boy, from 2017, 7 years ago. Damn, 2017 was 7 years ago. Feel old yet? Founded by two brothers, the Lerdwichhagel brothers, Kevin and Luke Lerdwichhagel, from Sydney, Australia. First, they started making Nintendo stuff like Mario, Super Mario, SMG4, and then they made Meta Runner. They made their YouTube channel in 2020, I think. Their channel currently stands at a total of 1 billion views. They're also supported by Crunchyroll, AMD, and Epic Games. So like, they're not that much of an indie production company with no funding. They have some fun. 11 million subscribers. Digital Circus is probably the biggest pilot on YouTube. There were also internal problems with Glitch, with really bad standards at the animation. You know, with every animation, the same problem with MAPPA Studios, that the animation schedules were really strict or something. I think Digital Circus pushed out an episode 6 month with it feels like a lot of time, but with the animation quality so high, it feels like they should have given it more time. Turned out pretty good, but I don't know about the situation with the employees getting paid or not, if that's true or all just alleged drama. Slow the hype for Digital Circus, like, oh, the creators are actually bad, things you didn't know about Digital Circus, so you probably shouldn't watch the show. But it's like, dislike it just because something happened behind the scenes. I'm still gonna enjoy something. Separate the art from the creator, you know. And recently it's becoming harder and harder to separate the art from the creator. As you know, so many creators are turning out to be creeps and weirdos. Now, if you know something about Murder Drones, which was created by Liam, who also made the pilot episode Cliffside, which was a pilot episode 6 years ago, 16 million views standing right now, May 2018. I actually liked it. I genuinely thought that Cliffside was getting a show or something because it was so good, but apparently it... Now, many people think these shows end prematurely, like with 8 episodes, like Murder Drones ended and they wanted more episodes, but it's like Liam Vickers had a story, and after telling that story, he wanted to end it. You know, he didn't want to continue it, stretch it out for money. Just, he told the story and ended the show. That's it. You know, that's what short and sweet, that's what people like. Now, I think they were trying to make Murder Drones as big as the Amazing Digital Circus, but for some reason the Amazing Digital Circus clicked with kids more because it's all colors and shit. And majority of the audience for the Amazing Digital Circus are kids. Same with Murder Drones. and any other media that claims to be for adults, kids will watch it. Rebellious children will do whatever they deem rebellious.
Those were great pilot episodes. I'm glad they got picked up because I enjoyed them a lot. Now, most new pilot cartoons, the cartoon pilots, do this where they add mystery or lore to make it more interesting. Because if it's just like a simple story, if it's like, let's say if it's like sad or some shit like that, that's not going to get that much attention as some mischievous, spooky, or like a wannabe comedy cartoon. That's going to get more traction compared to any sad or happy-go-lucky like type of cartoon pilot. Now, this has been discussed a lot that 3D art is easier to do compared to 2D, but 2D artists get paid less than 3D artists. I thought like 3D art was harder, but no, 3D art is easier because you already have a model, you just have to put it in a different position. 2D art, you have to redo every frame, and you need that smooth 40 frames per second, 15 frames per second, let's be honest. Nobody's doing 40 frames per second, or 60 even. That's a death wish for an animation pilot. Writing and budgeting problems. Animation takes a lot of time, okay? Everyone knows this. It's like, there's like 12 rules of animation also that you gotta follow, otherwise your animation doesn't look smooth. Especially if it's a pilot, cartoon pilots is like really anticipated by everyone. It's supposed to be something that everyone wants, but give it to them, make it really good. The animation studio has internal problems, so they can't continue stuff. And even after making a pilot, years later, it gets picked up by a streaming platform, and oh boy, people don't like it. What next? It gets cancelled, and the creator's dream destroyed. And YouTube content in general, I'd say, is very saturated. Like, I killed 1 billion in 24 hours type stuff. People will be like, oh yeah, it's mid-content, so what? No, it's actually too much. They need to dial it down for a second. But no actual creative shit. It loses value, desensitization to it. I've noticed that YouTube is like the only platform with cartoon pilots. Like, there's no other platform, as far as I know, where cartoon pilots are given such a high level of importance. There's also so many pilots which never get developed. Like, there's one show which got a trailer for the pilot, and it's been 5 years, and it still hasn't been developed because they've got internal problems. Sometimes it doesn't always work out as other successful pilots. Most of the times they just fail. Now, let's say the pilot episode, it gets picked up, and then it actually matches the hype that it had before. Now, in comparison to video games, I'd say the example of it being Starfield, a failure, it didn't match the hype, and Black Myth Wukong didn't match the hype. Although Black Myth Wukong had too much repetitive gameplay, so people didn't like it that much. Another thing that cartoon pilots have to do they have to understand what the audience wants. Now, the audience could be different depending on your show, but let's say your show is psychological horror as Digital Circus, and a little bit of dark comedy, even though the comedy is very subjective you need to understand what age demographic your audience is, what parts your audience loves the most, and what your audience wants to see, what characters they want to see more, and you have to understand the audience. Some creators just want to do their own thing, which is also great. I'm just saying that there is a greater chance of success if you try to understand the audience. Music is also very important in the pilot episode. Most of the times, a pilot gets original soundtrack for the pilot cartoon, which is great, which has a higher chance of getting picked up by a studio. Like, if you don't get picked up for making an animation, then it can still get picked up for making music for shows. Another thing I've noticed is anything popular to that degree that Digital Circus has reached, 300 million views and all, will get copycats and so-called inspirations. They will call them inspirations to get out of like lawsuit. And when a creator gets really popular, building up such a great community, and then there we go. Actually, the person you thought was a good person is bad. If a show gets popular to this degree, it also becomes part of internet culture and meme culture, especially a huge part of meme culture. And another point, there will always be, no matter what it is, a show, video game, movie, or anything other type of media, any other type of media, there will always be haters, people trying to rage bait, and attention seekers who their parents never gave them attention. You'll never have your true emotions out if you use too much meta irony in a show or in a game. Hype and popularity eventually died down, but the show or game that was hyped will always be honored on the internet. Hype dies down mostly because, first of all, the show has ended, and second of all, it's just nobody talks about it. It's like your first death is when you actually die, your second death is when people forget about you or some shit. making people lose jobs. So many artists have been demoted as artists just because companies feel like AI can do a better job than artists, which is so stupid. AI is just copied artwork. Hire real artists, pay voice actors. No fake AI voice, no deep fake. Just be real, be genuine, have a personality. See if it's indie, but then it slowly turns into corporate. Now, I really don't want this to happen to the Amazing Digital Circus, and an indie project becomes corporate, and it doesn't have that same soul. It feels like they're just making again and again and again same stuff just because they want more money. There is a point when it comes to an end, directors have an entirely different perspective compared to a Western animation studio. Another thing that matters is the number of animators. Let's say 50 animators that are really good will do a greater job than 100 animators who don't know that much about animation. You know, it's the actual fact. Let's get the facts clear, okay? Some animation studios have less people, some animation studios have more people, and I think Glitch Productions has like less people. They're still in the indie range. They're not, obviously they have funding organizations, but still I feel like they still have, obviously they have much experience, you know, it's a 7-year-old animation studio. So Glitch is a great studio when it comes to making animation, as I think they're slaying when making animation. They also have to be very kid-friendly on YouTube, like they can't show gore or actual horrifying stuff if they're making a cartoon pilot that's in the genre of horror, because YouTube is about all that community guideline stuff. So it needs to be very centered and very pale horror because they can't do much with YouTube's limitations. Let's talk about 2D animation. Now, Glitch doesn't do that much of 2D animation, but I think they did some old animatics, like really old, like 3-4 years ago when they did 2D animations. Right now, they don't do that, and they're really good at it. Also, please subscribe, like, and comment down below what next you want me to talk about, please. I have literally no subscribers right now, pretty please, so subscribe. Glitch Productions is the only indie animation studio on YouTube that's making good 3D animations. The ones that are doing it aren't making actual cartoon pilots for show. Obviously, there's great 3D animators on YouTube, like amazing, great people, but none of them are making cartoon pilots. But Glitches, which is I'm glad to see 3D cartoon pilots. One of the first 3D cartoon pilots to get to that level of popularity were the Murder Drones. So to get such a high level of popularity is amazing. And then this entire video is just me meat writing Glitch Productions. I'm not trying to meat write. I'm literally trying to find topics to talk about in real time because cartoon pilots I've covered most of the topics. The conclusion is that there are great cartoon pilots. I think Glitch Productions is special because they made the first 3D animated pilot that got popular. Murder Drones was the first coming, and then the Amazing Digital Circus was their second coming. In accordance to animation, separate the art from the artist. But I really do hope that the show goes on for longer, or it gets a spin-off or something similar to that, because I don't want it to an end, as it looks really great and they're doing a great job of making it. So I don't want it to end, you know, suddenly like episode 9, oh, there's the story, there it goes, ending forever. So I know they're trying to tell a story, but it's like, I get why some animes are like so long. Because it's like, if it's so good, you want more, but there comes a point where you have to understand that you don't need to make more. It's just for money. There's no actual ideas, and if they are, still for money. Okay? If it's a story and it has been concluded, and then in another next episode you make another one after another company buys the rights to your property, and they make another episode, like the Flappy Bird remake. And I also noticed that they were like planning this for a long time. Like they released the digital before even the episode 1. Episode 1 released 11 months ago. 7 months even before that, they made I think the merch website for the Amazing Digital Circus. And as soon as episode 1 released, merch website went instantly up, and the merch was selling left and right. For now, that's about it. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and please get me to 100 subscribers or even more. I'll be glad if we can get to more than 100 subscribers. And thank you for watching.